I was doing a year in one homicide in the Malakoff School District, so and I went back the next day, up and down, and I found it.
Still there.
Sunnyvale, homicide.
I happen to have her on Instagram.
Anything y'all can help out with?
See, it just goes to show that like not everybody's trying to steal and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just work.
Something earlier. I told you last week, we're just, they're like, please want everything. Like,
Yeah, but it's not like it's one of
So I took shots in general area. Really, really tight shots of.
Is everyone good to go? Everyone's good to go?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna check outside right more moment to see if there's an issue alert.
Yeah, that's different than it was earlier. Earlier it's 1200.
what?
Yeah. But it doesn't, but it doesn't I mean, I think if she's parked by there.
I know we shot it originally too.
Everyone ready to go?
Oh, one second.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Captain Yonley with the Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety. Thank you for being here today. Chief of Public Safety Dan Pastor will be providing an update for the criminal investigation for the homicide that occurred in Sunnyvale in January 2026. Chief?
Thank you for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm going to move this mic just a little bit in a second. I'm screw you guys up. Okay. Thank you for being here today. I'm joined here with Captain Lee, who leads our investigations unit, and Detectives Gabe Limon and Eugene Rossetti, who are the primary investigators in this case. Today, I'd like to share some important news about a homicide that occurred in Sunnyvale 2 months ago. On Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, at approximately 9:39 p.m., Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety officers responded to a shooting in the area of 1225 Vienna Drive. Upon arrival, our officers located an adult female victim inside a vehicle who had sustained gunshot wounds. She was later identified as Kembry Chirinos Flores, a 24-year-old Mountain View resident. The suspects had fled the scene prior to our officers' arrival, and sadly, Kimberly was pronounced dead at the scene. Our investigations unit conducted an exhaustive investigation into this horrific murder, and today I'm pleased to announce that we've made 2 arrests in connection with this homicide. On Thursday, March 5th, we conducted a coordinated operation which spanned 2 counties and involved multiple law enforcement agencies. The operation resulted in the apprehension of Alfonso Inestroza, an adult resident of Hollister, and Gerzon Chirinos, an adult resident of Sunnyvale. Both suspects were taken into custody by our detectives and the Sunnyvale SWAT team without incident. And both are being booked into county jail for murder charges. Inestrosa also had an arrest warrant for an unrelated murder case out of the state of New Jersey. On Friday, I spoke with Kimberly's mother and informed her that we had made 2 arrests in this case and offered my deepest condolences to her family and her loved ones on behalf of our department and the city of Sunnyvale. I can only imagine the profound pain and grief Kimberly's family is experiencing during this difficult time. Kimberly was in the prime of her life. She was working 2 jobs to make ends meet, and she was a loving mother of a 5-year-old son. I also want to reassure the Sunnyvale community that investigators have determined there is no ongoing threat to the community. This was a tragic, senseless act of violence that is fortunately extremely rare in our city. Sunnyvale continues to be one of the safest cities in the nation. Today's arrests represent an important step towards justice for Kimberly and her family. These arrests are the result of tireless work and dedication by our detectives. They worked around the clock to follow leads, gather evidence, and move this investigation forward. Their commitment to seeking justice for Kimberly reflects the professionalism and determination of the men and women of the Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety. Our department will never stop pursuing justice for victims of violent crime in our community, and we remain committed to holding offenders fully accountable. I'd like to extend our appreciation to our law enforcement partners for their insistence during this investigation and the successful apprehension of both suspects. These partners include the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office, the Santa Clara County Special Enforcement Team, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Hollister Police Department, the San Bernardino County Criminal Apprehension, Suppression, and Prevention Response Unit, and the Monterey County Sheriff's Office. Their collaboration and support were instrumental in advancing this case and ensuring those responsible were safely taken into custody. Finally, this investigation is still active and ongoing. We ask anyone with information about the incident to contact Detective Eugene Rossetti at 408-730-7110. Because this is still an active investigation, I will not be able to provide too many details or specifics about the case. But with that being said, I'll take a few questions. Go ahead.
Do we know the relationship that these people had with Kimberly? As I heard one of their last name is Chirinos as her. Is this like a family member?
The victim and Gerzon were previously involved in a dating relationship, and they have that child in common.
Thank you.
What are the charges the other person is facing? The one that had a warrant from murder in New Jersey?
They're both being booked into Santa Clara County Jail for homicide.
But do we know who actually shot her, both of them?
I can't comment on that right now.
Can you tell us what you think happened and why we think they were there in that mobile home park?
I can't go into the specifics of the case. We do know that, well, we recovered the weapon that we believe was used, but I don't want to get into too much specifics on the case at this time.
Did she live in the mobile home park?
No, she did not. She was a resident of Mountain View.
You know, this happened about 2 months ago, and they were just arrested. Why did it take you guys so long if it happened outside one of the guy's residence?
It actually was remarkably fast in this case. The hard work that our detectives did and the dedication that this department put into it, solving a homicide with very little leads on the night of to getting to a successful arrest in 2 months is remarkably fast.
Could you talk about how the arrest went down? Where?
Yeah, so one of the suspects was arrested in Hollister, and one was arrested here in Sunnyvale. The suspect in Hollister, Alfonso, was arrested by our SWAT team, and that was mostly because he's already wanted out of New Jersey for a homicide, so we were concerned for our safety. And then Gerzon was arrested here in Sunnyvale by our detectives.
And both when?
That was back on the 5th.
What happens to the child now?
The child is with County Child Protective Services, and it's their jurisdiction to determine where the child will be placed. But the child is safe and was unharmed.
You said you recovered a weapon. What kind of gun was it?
We did recover a shotgun that we believe was used during the homicide.
Was it legally purchased?
We're still investigating that.
I don't know if I missed this, if I did, sorry. The relationship between these two men, their friends, and like.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into details on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can say this is a domestic violence case, kind of. What will you tell the community or people that are victims of domestic violence to come forward in order to prevent this from happening?
So I would say reach out for help. I mean, don't suffer in silence. I could speak for Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety. We are always looking to help people that are in trouble. We can do that anonymously. You can call anonymously. You can text to 911 to reach us. You could reach out through friends, but you're not alone. We are desperate to help anybody that needs it, especially in our community. But contact law enforcement. We're here to help.
The actual shooting, do we believe it happened in the vehicle or?
Yes, the actual shooting occurred in the vehicle.
Do we think other people were in the vehicle as well, standing outside the vehicle?
I can't go into specifics of that, but Kimberly was found in her vehicle.
One of the suspects was in a relationship with her. Do you know if there are prior reports of domestic violence or any abuse or anything with the police department, at least here in Mountain View?
Let's see. Gerzon did have prior domestic violence related offenses that were involving a different victim, so not Kimberly, and that was in 2018.
Is there other criminal charges of either one of them that you could share besides that domestic violence and obviously the murder warrant?
We're working closely with the district attorney's office to explore whether or not that's feasible. Okay. If there's no other questions, I'm going to ask Detective Limon to step up, and he's going to provide my statement in Spanish. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes y gracias por su presencia. Yo soy Detective Gabriel Limón. Hoy queremos compartir noticias importantes sobre un homicidio ocurrido en Sunnyvale hace tan solo 2 meses. El miércoles 7 de enero de 2026, aproximadamente a las 9:39 de la noche, oficiales del Departamento de Seguridad Pública de Sunnyvale respondieron a un reporte de un tiroteo en la área de 1225 Vienna Drive. Al llegar, nuestros oficiales localizaron a una mujer adulta dentro de un vehículo con heridas de bala. Más tarde fue identificada como Kimberly Chirinos Flores, una residente de Mountain View de 24 años. Los sospechosos huyeron de la escena antes de la llegada de nuestros oficiales. Lamentablemente, Kimberly fue declarada muerta en el lugar. Nuestra unidad de investigaciones realizó una investigación exhaustiva de este horrible crimen. Y hoy me complace anunciar que hemos realizado 2 arrestos en relación con este homicidio. El jueves 5 de marzo llevamos a cabo un operativo coordinado que abarcó 2 condados e involucró a varias agencias del orden público. El operativo resultó en la detención de Alfonso Inestrosa, residente adulto de Hollister, y Gerzon Chirinos, residente adulto de Sunnyvale. Ambos sospechosos fueron detenidos por nuestros detectives y el equipo SWAT sin incidentes. Ambos fueron ingresados